Welcome to Desktime Table Talk, and I am your host, Shireen, and joining me today we have Zain, who is a childbirth educator, and today's topic is one that is incredibly important to moms-to-be, birth and labor preparation, navigating pain management. So whether you're a first-time mom or you a season one, labor can be unpredictable, and knowing your pain management options can be a world of difference. So, we are going to dive into the physical, mental, and emotional tools you can use to feel empowered on your birthing day. So, let's get started. Before Azane introduces herself, I will tell you a bit about my story, and then Zane will tell you how she got into birth education. All right, so today's topic is very close to my heart, navigating pain management without medication, that is. I am presently 11 months postpartum, and I was introduced to Zane services for my birth in 2023 because of my previous birthing experience due to pain medication trauma. So I must admit that these techniques, which Zane will share a bit with you, have helped me manage my pain during labor. I also really appreciated having the support from my husband, who also learned tips from Zane to help navigate my pain management. And I can say without a doubt that my last birthing experience was 100% easier and smoother because of this. So, hence the reason we have chosen to talk about pain management, and I have chosen to introduce you to Zane today. So, we'll hear Zane's story and then we'll get started.
Hey everybody. Let me make sure you can hear me. If you can, let me know. But my name is Zane Favrier. I'm a childbirth educator, Lamaze trained, and I've been involved in childhood education for a few years now, possibly around 3 years now. I got interested in it after I had my second daughter. So I have two children. And with the second daughter, I really experienced a feeling of empowerment before I gave birth and even while I was giving birth. And the main reason was because of the knowledge that I had gained prior to giving birth to her. So after having that experience, having the experience of a first birth where I didn't have that much knowledge, and then a second birth where I did, I really got inspired and passionate about sharing that with other women. The fact that giving birth does not have to be a scary thing. That is the main thing that I really want to push. It does not have to be a scary thing at all. So that's part of what we're going to be talking about today.
Great. So, Zane, we know that labor is one of the most intense physical experience a person can go through. So, what kind of pain can mothers expect during labor and delivery, and how does it vary between women?
Okay, so I know generally people hear about contractions. That's the main one that we hear about when you watch movies and you see the women screaming and moaning when they're giving birth. So contractions take place around the time of labor. So you have early labor and late labor. Contractions are kind of this tightening feeling of the stomach, and some people also describe it as really bad period pains. So if you've never given birth, you can try to imagine that it feels that way. For some women, depending on the positioning of the baby as well, they can have some really bad back pain also. So some women experience the pain in the front, I guess in the area of the uterus, and some women experience that pain in their back. They get really bad back labor pains. That's during the labor, the giving birth. Prior to labor, though, you may experience a little bit of pain. The first type would be with the ligaments. You have the round and broad ligaments in the uterus, around the uterus. So as the uterus prepares, as the uterus grows, you kind of start to feel this pinching pain. Would you describe it that way? Did you feel that?
Yes, pinching, but deep pinch.
Okay. So yeah. I think I remember experiencing that in the early stages. So maybe first trimester. And if it's your first baby, you're not too sure what it is, but by the second one, you realize, okay, this is just my body preparing for my baby. And then women also experience what is called Braxton Hicks, which some people call fake labor, where it's kind of like a contraction, but it's not as bad as a contraction. And you can use that to prepare for the actual labor.
So, Zane, for me, I knew that I needed to be mentally prepared for the pain based on my previous birth, right? So, how does mental preparation really impact the experience of labor pains?
Okay. And that's a really good question because, like I said, a lot of women go into labor or even into pregnancy with this fear of the pain. And I understand that because generally, when you think of pain, you get scared. Nobody wants to actually experience pain. But I always say that one of the worst things that you can do is to be afraid of that pain. So mentally, you need to prepare yourself and say, you know what, I am going to experience pain. That pain is going to lead to my baby. And what worked for me was comparing it to running a marathon or training for a marathon. You're going to experience pain. You're going to have to wake up early in the morning. You're going to experience muscle pain, foot pain, whatever, but it's going to pay off in the end. So understand that that pain is going to lead to something good. So don't be afraid of it. That's the first thing you really have to do. Don't be afraid of that pain.
So, many women are choosing non-medical techniques to manage pain, whether there is a preference or necessity. So, what are some effective natural or non-medical techniques for managing pain during labor?
Okay, that's a good question. The three things that I think people should remember are movement, breathing, and massage. Those are the three main ways that you can manage your pain without opting for something medical, without opting for drugs. Now, I am not against the use of drugs, but it should not be your first option. I've spoken to many people who say, oh, when I get pregnant and I have to give birth, I'm definitely going to ask for an epidural, I'm definitely going to ask for whatever. And they've never even experienced what labor is. So it really shouldn't be your first choice. So, like I said, we have movement, breathing, and massage. The breathing techniques, I'm sure we'll get into a little bit later, but there are different breathing techniques that you can use to help your body to relax, to also distract your body while you're going through the contractions. There is hypnobirth, which I'm not too versed on, but without getting too professional with it, it can simply be visualizing the end result of the labor or coming up with a mantra for yourself or something that you say to yourself over and over again, or visualize yourself having a really good birth and giving birth to a healthy baby. It's just like preparing your mind for that. So that's another method. Massage, like I was saying, there are different methods of massage. I don't know if you want to get into it now.
You could touch on it a little bit now, but we'll come on it after.
Okay, so while you are giving birth, and again, this will also touch on the importance of having somebody with you. It can be your husband, your boyfriend, your mother, whoever it is that you are comfortable with. It has to be somebody that you're comfortable with. That person will know what to do to help you get through the pain. So it can be a simple shoulder massage. Some of it too is pressing into the pelvis, especially for the women who have the back pain.
That would too.
Yes, I remember you said that. Simply stroking up the back as well. So it really depends on what works for you. In the moment, you may not want to be touched. So you can also say, yeah, don't touch me, let me just breathe. But if you want the massage, and that's why you practice it ahead of time, you let your partner know, okay, this is what I need you to do for me when I'm going through a contraction.
Right.
Communication is important.
So for me, I wanted to stay grounded and in control, right? So can you explain how movement and different labor positions help manage the pain? Because I
Okay.
remember at one point for me, like I wanted to just remain sitting. When my pain started, I went on the toilet bowl and I just kept sitting there and I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to move. So how these things actually have the different positions.
Okay, and that's actually a good one. Sitting is one method that some people use. So sitting on the toilet, because there is a certain pressure that you can feel at the beginning. And of course, the more you feel the urge to push, the more you realize, okay, we need to get to the hospital. But sitting can help relieve some of the pressure that you're feeling of the baby starting to move its way down. If you have a birthing ball, you can also use that. One method that I enjoyed was leaning over the birthing ball. You don't even have to have a ball. You can lean over your partner's legs, for example, lean over a table, and that kind of helps to relieve the pressure on your back. Walking around, like I said, movement is very important. So instead of sitting still or even lying down, sometimes lying down can make the pain feel even worse. So if you can get up and walk around,
Yeah.
get up, move around, dance, sway, play some music. Again, there is no, this is what you have to do.
Right.
But in that moment, you really have to trust your body. Your body knows what to do. Unless there is a serious medical issue, your body knows exactly what to do. So if you feel like dancing, dance. If you feel like leaning, lean. Whatever feels good for you in that moment, that is what you should do.
Right. So I remembered being very fearful and anxious because of my previous birthing experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can fear or anxiety impact pain perception during labor? And how can mothers mentally prepare for labor?
Okay, so the first one, pain, how does fear impact pain? So one of the main things that fear does is it tightens up your body. Your body goes into a state of fight or flight. Adrenaline is being released, and the body is like, okay, let me get ready to fight or run away. And that's not the state you want to be when you're giving birth. You want to be in a state of looseness as much as possible.
Right.
So that is again why we try to avoid the fear. Whatever it is you can do to avoid it, do that because you want your body to be as relaxed as possible. Because adrenaline can also affect the good hormones that you want to be coursing through your body, like the oxytocin. To get the oxytocin, you can get somebody you love to touch you, um, play some music to relax you, anything that can help you not focus on, I'm terrified of this pain that is coming. Yeah. What's your second question?
How can you prepare? How can you mentally prepare for it?
Okay. Again, know that it is coming. I think that's one of the main things that you can do. And you can jump in and let me know what you did as well.
Yes, because I think remember for me that's the reason why I really contacted you, right? Because I needed this was pain management that I needed to get through for this for that birth, right? And you told me you that same example you used with the marathon. So you told me, Shireen, in order to get your baby, you have to experience pain. So think about the baby and not the pain, right? You have to go through the pain in order to get the baby. So for me, during that or those moments, during those contractions, I was just thinking about the baby. You have to get pain to get the baby. So and that really helped. So I think really positive self-talk and all of these things helps you through. Um, and of course support that you'll get into um, a little later. But one of my preference during labor was staying in an upright position on my knees, right? And
Yeah, I like that as well.
yes, so I know in the hospital it's a little difficult, but what are some ways that mothers can actually advocate for their pain management preference during labor? Because I think some mothers don't understand that they can actually, act in as if they can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, I don't know if it's because they're not knowledgeable or they fear that the nurses will say, no, you just need to lie down on your back and have that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So so let us know, if we can actually advocate for these things.
Yeah, 100% yes. That is, again, one of the things I push. First of all, be knowledgeable. So when you get to the hospital, nobody can tell you, no, you cannot do that. Again, unless it's a situation where your baby is at risk and you are at risk, you can ask questions or have your person, the person who's there for you, partner, mother, whatever it is, advocating for you, saying, okay, she wants to give birth on her knees because this really helps her with the pain. Let me know how she can do that.
Okay.
And I'm hoping nobody is going to try to bully you and say, no, you cannot do that. And if they do say no, ask why. Why can't I do it? Is there a problem? Is it going to affect me? Is it going to affect the baby? Now, I didn't give birth in St. Lucia, so you can give us a better feel for what that is like in the hospital. But with my second daughter, I kind of had to do that because they wanted me to lie on my back. They wanted to monitor me. And I said, no, I want to kneel down.
Right.
Because that for me was just in that moment.
You knew you needed to do it.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to do. And so they allowed me to do it, and the birth went really well.
Yes, because for me, when I started kneeling, they said it was fine. But then when I think they saw the head, they told me I need to go on my back. And let me tell you, I didn't want to go on my back, but she said, we will help you through the process, right? So I went on my back, and yes, and that was it. That, I mean, probably within a few minutes or seconds, baby came, right? But during my labor, my husband and my doula was present, right? So how can birth partners actively support a laboring mom? That's where we'll talk about the massage and the counter pressure, or so tell us what are some of the things that your partner, or if you have a doula, they can help. Are there any pressure points or areas that could really ease the tension during the contractions? As I said, for me, I know you said with the pressing of the pelvic area, hip squeezes, that worked for me.
Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, again, when you in labor, contractions are happening, you can't really speak up for yourself. So that's why the classes before are helpful, because when your partner is there,
yes,
they know what to do, they know what to say. They're not just thrown into a situation where they themselves panicking because you're in pain. So they worry, they're just going to listen to what the nurse is saying because it's a nurse, I understand. But ahead of time, if you learn what your person might need, and I'm talking to the husband, the mothers, the sisters, whoever is going to be there. If you learn what the mother is going to need in that moment, you're not going to be too panicky. And you'll be able to tell the nurse, okay, this is what she needs. She needs to kneel down. She needs her back pressed or rubbed, whatever it is. So, and I say this a lot, the support person is extremely important. No mother should have to go through that on her own. And I know it happens, but no mother should have to go through that on her own. It's already such a scary experience for the first time. And the support person is extremely important. You're not just there, and this is for the fathers as well, because a lot of them feel, I'm not carrying the baby, there's nothing for me to do. No, you're there to support her. You're there to help her feel better in the moment, and you are her voice while she cannot speak.
And that's why it's important for them to do classes with the mothers, so they know actually what to do. So they can be helpful in you. And I think I'm not sure for all countries, but I think in Trinidad, the fathers have to attend the classes in order to be present in the booting.
That makes sense,
right? So yeah, because they have to know what to do. You're not just there staring, and some people they
yeah.
So it's really the support is really needed then.
Yeah.
So it's all about preparing your mind and the power of the breath, right? So why is breathing so important during labor, and how does it affect the pain perception?
Okay, so breathing does a few things for you. One, it increases the amount of oxygen that your body is getting, which is going to help to relieve some of the pain, lessen some of the pain that you're feeling. Two, it gives you something to focus on. So if I tell you, for example, there are different types of breathing. So you have in the early stages of labor, You have slow breaths that you can take. And this is also something you can do outside of labor when you're feeling stressed at work or your children are overstimulating you. You can do that. So you take in a deep breath for 4 or 5, and then you blow it out for 6 or 7. And you keep doing that. So that is going to also help your body to relax. Like we said, we don't want the body to be tense. We don't want the muscles to be tense because that also increases the pain.
Right.
So the slow breathing in the early stages of labor is very important.
So I'm seeing here, Talia is saying, she's fed up of boxing
Yeah,
because she's going to give birth anytime now. So which means she can utilize these breathing techniques, right?
Yeah, because the Braxton Hicks is kind of like a practice session for you. So when you feel it, practice your breathing, practice your moving, your swaying, whatever it is.
Yes. So this is how she can practice it before the delivery,
The actual,
right? So it's important to know your options on how to create a calm and supportive birth environment, right? So how does the environment such as lighting, music, or aromatherapy affect the pain management?
Okay, that's a good question. A lot of it, well, it goes back to hormones again. So you have your oxytocin, which is kind of, they call it the love hormone. It kind of creates a space of comfort and relaxation within your body. And also endorphins help you to just feel good. So those are the two things that your music, the lighting, and even a familiar smell. So maybe a blanket that you like, or your husband, if you love his smell, ask him to give you his t-shirt, something that you know brings you peace, brings you relaxation, have it with you in the moment. The lighting, I'm not sure how much you can control.
No, I don't think too much in the hospital because you need to have some light, to.
And that's why too, again, if medically you don't have to be at the hospital early, stay home. Before you, when the contractions aren't too close, and I can't remember the exact thing, I know you can probably tell us.
Yes. So once it's 15 minutes, you need to get going.
There you go. Yeah. But before that, if you get the contractions further apart than that, stay home. Stay in an area where you are relaxed. Play your music. Turn off the lights. What I did with my second daughter, I took a shower. Like I felt the contractions coming. I started moving. I sat on the toilet. I stayed in the shower for probably half an hour, just having the hot water running on me until I got to a point where I said, okay, we have to go to the hospital now. But you want to be in a space where you are as calm, as relaxed as you possibly can be.
Right. I agree. For me, I didn't want any music. I don't want any music. I just need to.
I just want silence.
Yeah, I use it. Same thing. I went in. I took a hot shower. I sit on the toilet. When I know I need to go 15 minutes, that was it. Right. So pain management during labor isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, right? And we spoke about the movements such as walking or using a wooden ball to help relieve pain, right? So, what are some of the labor positions that can ease the discomfort? I know we talk about for us with staying on your knees, right? Is there anything else, squatting, like those things?
Yeah, so I have my handout and I give out handouts during the classes I like to read. I like physical things. I don't always like the screen. So I do give out handouts for the mothers who prefer that. One method is, like you said, the squatting. And again, it all depends on where you are. Sometimes squatting may not be a simple or easy thing to do on a hospital bed.
Yeah.
The doctor may need to see what's happening.
Yeah, they'll tell you they're not seeing.
Exactly. But maybe early stages, they'll allow you to squat. There's also the hands and knees position. And I know it may be a little crass, but I mean, we're all adults here. I remember somebody saying that the same way you got it in might be the same way you need to get it out. So if you need to be on your hands and knees to get it out, then do that. And the same thing goes with the noises that you have to make sometimes to help that baby get out. You also have like a kneeling over position, lunging. So again, it really depends on where you are. I know in St. Lucia, some of these positions may not be that feasible. There's also water birth. Depends on where you are.
Yeah, I think in Trinidad they do water birth. They have one place to do.
So yeah, it depends on where you are. Ask questions ahead of time from the hospital to see what is possible before you get your heart set on, oh, I want a water birth, and then they tell you, okay, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Which kind of happened with me because by the time I got to the hospital,
It
was too late. For them to prepare everything, they said, no, it's too late. So I missed out on my water birth. But, and lying on your back is also an option, but not flat on your back. Like I know sometimes that's how they show it in the movies, but more of a like an inclined position.
Yes,
so you're sitting up and you have your knees, you can bring your knees to your chest. That's also something you can do. You can hold your knees to your chest as you're pushing.
Yes, I think if I recall correctly, that's what they did for when they told me to go on my back.
Okay.
Because I want to stay on my knees. I think that's what they did. They helped me get my knees up my chest. So but then sometimes you don't have the strength to keep them. So I think that's what they asked my husband to.
I was about to say So the man can also do it. Help you to keep your legs up as you're doing the heavy lifting of pushing the baby up.
Yeah, because it takes a lot then.
Yeah.
So one of the ways we can prepare for labor is mental focus, right? So what roles does mindfulness or visualization play in pain management?
Okay. So again, similar to what I said in the beginning, from the time you get pregnant, know that at the end of the 9 months, or however long it takes, about 9 months, you are going to be experiencing pain.
Yes.
That pain is unavoidable. That pain is going to lead to you having a healthy baby. So prepare your mind for that. And the pain is fine. The pain is okay. Avoid as much as possible, and I find that's a Caribbean thing. I don't know if that happened to you. My first baby, everybody wanted to come and tell me about their experience. Everybody had to come and tell me, oh, my baby's head was so big that I tore from this place to that place, or I was in labor for 2 days. And as a first-time mother, that's not what you want to hear because you've never experienced it before.
Yeah, that's true.
And now it's just everybody's putting these horror stories in your ears. So as much as possible, avoid the negative stories. You experienced that?
But yes, I did. And then until I went and researched, and that's when I found out about the raspberry tea. Right? Okay. Because, they say, you stay so long in labor and all. And for my previous birth, yes, I did. I stayed probably 12 hours in labor, and I didn't want to go through that again. So I said, you know what? There must be something that can help me go to labor faster. And I read up and I did some research on the raspberry tea. And, I realized a lot of mothers say, yes, it works.
Yeah.
I say, you know what? It wouldn't hurt to try. At 35 weeks, I started drinking the raspberry tea.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Right? And I gave birth at 37 weeks. And in 3 hours, when I got to the hospital in my 15 minutes, when I had the 15 minutes, I started contractions really about 1 p.m.
Okay.
I got to the hospital about 3 p.m. because that's when the 15 minutes started, right? And I gave birth by 6 p.m. So, when I got to the hospital, I was already 7 centimeters dilated. So I said, raspberry tea.
Yeah, like I 100% believe raspberry leaf tea.
Yes.
That's what it is. It helps. I use that again with my second daughter. And according to I think the research says that it helps your cervix to ripen.
Yes. Yes.
So that helps you to move through the labor a little bit faster. They sell it here actually at I guess I'm giving them a plug, Livity.
Yes, they have it there. They have it there also.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, we were talking about mental focus.
Yes. Visualization.
One thing I did not mention. If you are religious, and I know most of us here in St. Lucia are, pray. That's one of the first things that you can do. Because I'm sure you've experienced praying about something and that just helped you to feel so much lighter.
Yeah.
Because you realize, okay, it's no longer in my hands, it's in God's hands, God is in control. I don't have to worry about this thing anymore. So whatever your religion is, pray, read a psalm, whatever it is you need to do to feel relaxed.
Yes.
Do that. That's so important. And like I said, avoid negative talk as much as possible.
Yeah. And I remember you told me you were made for this. You
Yeah.
told me that,
Yeah.
right? So some of it that we have mantras or affirmations that mom can use to stay centered in contractions. Do you have any?
I do. This too shall pass is one. Again, the same marathon mentality. There's an end point. You're not going to be giving birth for the rest of your life. A baby is going to be there waiting for you. So this too shall pass. You can breathe and say that over and over again. You can say push through, push through, push through. At the end of the day will end is another one. I'm sure some of you know where that's from. Whatever you can make up for yourself, whatever you can say over and over again while you're breathing to help you get through, say it, get through it. God is in control, whatever it is. And yeah, like I said, expect the pain.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing.
Yes,
going
it's
through.
unavoidable. You have to get the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and this is my last question. How does staying mentally present help moms work with the pain instead of resisting it? Because that baby have to come, right? So
Yeah.
you have to experience that pain.
Yeah.
So, staying in the present. And I think for me, one of the things is really I really prayed, because I'm saying to myself, sure, the baby will come, you need to get the pain just, God give me that strength to push that baby out, right? So yeah, and that helped me be mentally present. So, knowing that, I have to get the strength from somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So only God can help me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just like what you said, knowing that the pain is coming, and I know it may be a little strange, but for me at least, especially with my second birth, where I knew what to expect, it was almost an enjoyable experience. Like almost like when you, I don't know, you exercise and then you have the muscle pain afterwards. It's like I'm experiencing this because I'm going to get something so amazing. That's why I say almost. Like you're still in a lot of pain, but you know that that pain is there for a reason. Right. Yeah.
After that pain is baby.
It's baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will be okay.
Yeah. So in closing, well, I'm not sure if you want to tell, you want to tell the mothers out there, anything in closing, and you can also, let them know how your services, where they can reach you and stuff before, I actually close with.
Okay, no problem. Again, the main thing that I push, like you were saying, your body was made to give birth. This is not some alien experience. Your body was made to carry a baby. Your body was made to push out that baby. So you realize when you get to that point, you know what to do. If you feel like moving, you feel like singing. Another thing I forgot to mention, when you are breathing, instead of screaming, you do these low moans, kind of like mooing or groaning. Mm-hmm. But you will know what to do in the moment, but that also comes with knowledge. So I do encourage everybody, especially the first child, but you can also do it with others because I know you did it with your second. I also had another mother who did it with her second, especially if you had a somewhat traumatizing first birth. Mm-hmm. Come to the classes, come with your partner, your mother, whoever it is, and get the knowledge so that when you're going into that, okay, I know what to do. I know how to breathe. I know how to. It really is for your benefit as well.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Instagram with Ed SLU. I'm sure we can also post it in your Instagram so we can find it.
Yeah. Well, as we explored today, there are so many powerful ways to manage labor pain without medication. So from intentional breathing and partner-supported massage to mindful movement and to visualization, these strategies empower you to navigate labor with confidence and calm. So remember, you and your partner are a team. Practice these techniques together and you'll be ready for whatever comes your way. You were made for this, as Zain said, you've got this. So thank you so much, Zain, for sharing your expertise with us, and thank you for joining me today on Desk-Line Table Talk. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with an expectant friend and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. She is Destine at birth.ed.slu for more wellness tips and inspiration. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.